Hi dear global family, today's speaker ET on LifeTree TV. How have you been for a week? Have you ever thought about the spiritual age? Now I share with you about from material age to spiritual age. God has no time to intervene in people's lives. People's lives are full of obsession with money, right and wrong, and thoughts of revenge and punishment. In the material age, justice is more efficient than truth in order to correct unfair institutions and unreasonable systems. In the material age, the truth is often more uncomfortable. It is more convenient to live with the blade of justice that divides right and wrong than to live with the truth in the material age. In the material age, creating rules of the fair games is more efficient in keeping my property. The way of justice can divide something into black and white. It's too easy to separate enemies with a lie. It is easy to distinguish between good and bad, and it is the best way to punish others. The way of justice is very convenient. If you shout with the flag of justice, someone will surely have your side. The moment you define the other party as unjust, you can easily acquire the position of the judge who judges the unjust person. In the name of justice, the idea and logic that it is natural to blame others, criticize others, and invade others' free will are born naturally. You must be an enemy because my justice is superior to your justice, and you are a bad person. I could have killed a man in the name of justice, and it was natural for a soldier to kill a civilian with a gun. The ruler was able to exploit the subordinates, and the subordinate could resist the dominance. In the name of justice, in the name of God, in the name of a king, in the name of law and institution, it is the sad and miserable history of the planet Earth that the matrix of justice, revenge, and punishment is so natural and so widespread through oppression of the free will of others and the rights of others. Everything was done in the name of justice. In the material age, the flag of justice could move human mind easily, more than the flag of peace, more than the flag of God, more than the flag of truth. The more contradictory society is, it's easier to gather people's minds. The more irrational and unequal society, it is easy to get a person's heart. In a society where people live, there were always contradictions. Society was always unequal. There was always an irrational system and law. There were always bad people. There was always someone to be punished. There was always someone worse than you. In the material age, for the humans who lost the heaven, there was the way of justice behind the justification that intellectuals and power-oriented peoples have a critical mind for the public's interest at the public eye level. The beliefs that unjust people must be punished justified revenge and punishment. To justify revenge and punishment in the name of heaven, in the name of God, under the guise of Jesus' will, under the guise of Buddha's will, under the guise of God's will. It was history of a bloody struggle. The way of justice is sweet temptation and a sword of retribution that can be easily drawn. It has provided a cause to invade the free will of others anytime and anywhere. The deep-rooted right and wrong matrix of encouraging good and punishing evil has created cultures and civilizations that take revenge and punishment for granted. The way of justice was the best value that moved the material age and was a tool to realize the best virtue. In the material age, justice has been the basis for social ethics and personal ethics. There were no political leaders who didn't cry out for a just society. There were no politicians who didn't try to create a just society. Among the humans who lost the heaven, there was no one who has not cried out for justice. All human races are in the trap of justice. In the name of justice, so many people have been involved in the history of creating a righteous society. Human beings who have lost the communication with the heaven have spread out material civilizations centered on matter. Now the world is in the midst of a storm of justice. In the Korean Peninsula and other countries around the world, people are taking for granted that we are fighting in the name of justice, judging others, and oppressing the free will of others. Human beings in the trap of justice are dreaming of a green horn, raising another flag of justice. Only when we put down bad people and good people, mankind can escape from the trap of justice and the swamp of justice. The only way out of the trap of justice and the swamp of justice is to regain the lost heaven. The history of revenge and retribution in the name of justice will be repeated until communication with the lost heaven is connected to the hearts and minds of mankind, and the lost divinity is restored. The age of spirituality is the age of truth. The will of the heaven is spread out on the ground. It is not the way of justice to broaden the world in the world, but the way of restoring the sacred spirituality that sleeps inside the human being. The age of spirituality cannot be done by human efforts alone. The age of spirituality is possible only if the will and plan of the heaven is involved first. The meaning of the new heaven and the new earth promised by the heaven to mankind is the arrival of the spiritual age. The heavenly promise will be executed. The sacred covenant between the heaven and the mankind shall be realized. The following can be interpreted in the same context. The dimensional ascension of the earth, 개벽, the great opening for the new heaven and new earth. 영화 world, the world of Maitreya, the world purified and unfolded by Maitreya. The world of a new heaven, the second coming of Jesus, man becoming divine. all humans becoming Buddha. That time and that day are beginning and has already begun. Only when the humans who lost the heaven regain the heaven. Only when the humans who don't even know the existence of the heaven restore the heaven. Only when mankind who is disconnected with the heaven restores communication with the heaven, the will of the heaven could be fully realized on the earth. As the heaven's will is spread on the earth, the works of the earth will also match the plan of the heaven. Just as the puzzle pieces are matched, the era of spirituality will be opened without any errors. The survivors of the cataclysm will be given the bestowal of awareness, through which they will regain the lost heaven and lost divinity. Those who have lost their ways in the swamp of justice will know the scary nature of the heaven. In the process of the collapse of material civilizations on the earth, going through the process of the earth's catastrophes, mankind will cry out and find the lost heaven at one's level of consciousness. The process of cutting the bone is prepared by the heaven until people get to realize that there is the world of essence that is not visible beyond the visible phenomenon. To open the age of spirituality, to open the age of Gebek, to open the new heaven and new earth. The divine promise of the heaven will be executed soon. Udeka says, "The day has come. Yes, such shall it be. Yes, such is it planned to be. Yes, such was it done." August 6, 2017, Udeka writes, translated by E.T. I appreciate your time with us. Thank you.